What's going on, team? Velociraptor here for EventHubs, and we have some big Street Fighter 6 news. No, it's not a new mode. No, it's not some new DLC character en route. It's costumes. Yes, we've known that these costumes were coming since around EVO, but now we actually have footage and a release date for them, which is December 1st. Note that we don't have a price point, and that'll be interesting once Capcom actually rolls that out. But for now, we're going to take a look at the footage that we have of these pretty beautiful new costumes and rate them from the worst to the best. That's about all I have for an intro, so let's jump into it. Alright, so number 18 on the list, I'm gonna give to Luke. This costume looks just fine in the RE engine, but it's a callback to a costume from Street Fighter V directly, which is fine, but Luke was not the most beloved character in Street Fighter V. This actually might bring up a little bit of PTSD for a lot of people, and he's got braces in this one, which makes him just all the more punchable. It's not a bad costume, but it's my least favorite of the bunch. All right, number 17, I'm gonna put Guile. This first, to me, looked like Cody's design from Street Fighter V, but they didn't say anything about that in the description. It's really just if Guile, I don't know, worked at like kind of a westerny biker's bar. It makes enough sense for the character, and maybe it's a change of career path, but it doesn't do anything specifically for me when it comes to Guile's general personality. All right, poor Ryu is next. This guy just can't win and in any category. This is sort of casual, just Japanese guy, Ryu, and it's not even completely casual. I think his sandals are upscale sandals that he was given by E Honda. We've seen this kind of costume for Ryu before, and I get it, it's Street Fighter. This is what Ryu might look like fighting on the streets. It's fine, it looks good, I'm glad to have it, but it's not my favorite. All right, and at 15 we have Vacation-y Honda. Yeah, this definitely captures Honda's more relaxed side, and he's always sort of jolly, so he's never too far from that vacation feeling about him. But it's not super cool. It's just relaxed. It's cute, but it kind of loses its charm as soon as it gains it. So yeah, fine, sweet, but not the best. Number 14, Kimberly. This works for Kimberly because she's a ninja, and it's definitely got ninjutsu aspects to it. It still has that like urban casual feel to it, and then her hair is probably the most prominent part of all this, and that's definitely her. She's got kind of a froed out, spray painted, bright blue color you would never find in nature kind of thing goes with her painting and all that, so it works for the character. But when I see it, there's something that doesn't really match about it to me. They could have put a little more thought into this to make it more visually appealing. So it does capture the character's essence just fine on a couple of levels, but I don't think it all works together very well. This is either spot on alternate Dalsim, or it's completely missing the mark, and I'm just not sure. The developer notes say that he's been given a bunch of random articles of clothing, so he kind of looks like hipster street Dalsim, which I'm just not convinced of. Maybe it's perfect, but I'm gonna need some more time with it, and until then, it's lower here on the tier list. ChunLi, she continues the theme of being casual, and it's not a problem here. I like how everything kind of flows and it captures her graceful aspect of her character. Things hang off of her, her clothes are kind of baggy, and then she has these shoes that I dare say don't really go with the rest of the outfit, but they're slip-ons that also have like a tennis shoe sneaker support aspect to them, so they look very comfortable, and that's important when you're fighting, right? The big thing about this one is that she lets her hair down, and I think a lot of the Chun-Li that let her hair down costumes tend to do well with people. It immediately takes you back to that battle dress from Street Fighter V. So this isn't my favorite of every Chun-Li costume, but it's good, and it's a nice change of pace from what she has otherwise in this game. Manon looks like she's from the French Revolution. I think this looks really good. I don't know how much it actually captures Manon. Outside of the fact that she's French and the French Revolution happened, I think, in France. Anyways, it certainly has good coloration, it's pristine, it looks nice. Her flowing, very extravagant hair compared to how it normally is. She grew a lot of extra hair for this costume, but it fits with the rest of the costume well. It almost looks like something we'd see Vega wearing. Does this look like a ballerina judoka supermodel? No, not necessarily, but I do think it's a good costume that most characters would look good in, generally speaking. So yeah, it's pretty decent. Ken's costume looks good. It looks flashy. It's attractive. It's got the shiny, leathery, high profile sort of aspect to it, which is a nice contrast with his otherwise kind of homeless, disheveled look. And it looks kind of like Maximilian, which is fun. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but that's undeniable. It's sort of also kind of just the middle of the pack for me. It's cool. It's not amazing. I don't go, oh, and sit forward in my chair as much as I maybe will for other costumes. Jamie follows a similar path as Ken as he dresses up for his next costume. He's wearing formal Chinese clothing. Now, the developer said that this was one of the harder costumes to zero in on. They knew generally what they wanted to do, which was give him a little bit of a fancier look, but they didn't want to go too far because they said that really wouldn't work with the character, but they also didn't want to go super bland. And I think they found a pretty good medium here. The part of his personality that this makes me think of is if he normally is this headstrong, young character that wants to go out and make a difference in the world, he also has his grandma every so often coming out and grabbing him by the ear, sort of bringing him down back to earth and remembering the more conservative culture and to be home in time for certain things like dinner and stuff. And so this is that Jamie, maybe Jamie in his Sunday best. And the best part of this costume, I have to say, are the shoes, which have a bit of an inverse pattern to the rest of it all. I really like them. Lily continues our trek into the top 10 here. This is a really good costume. It's got a lot of good coloration. The trim is nice. There's a lot of layering to it. It's filled to the brim with culture. This is clearly Mexico themed. You got the sombrero, the boots. They even add to her war clubs. So this looks really good. All the colors work well together. I like how some of it's a little muted and some of it jumps out at you because of the gold trim. This is a really good costume. And Blanca Chan, not surprising. This costume did a number in Street Fighter V. It was a moment when this was released, and it was a marketing thing both within the game and without. It's almost surprising that we're getting this third and not his nostalgia, but either way, it's here now. A lot of people are going to be happy about this. It's nothing new, but it's something that has very quickly overnight become a staple for the character, and I think we're all happy to see him. It's fun and it's super goofy, and when Blanca plays as a troll character to the extent that he does, having that big goofy Blanca Chan face just looking at you after you get KO'd, I can appreciate what that is, as much as it sucks to get on the other receiving end of it. Little Red Riding Cammy, just kidding. I know this is an homage back to both, I think, the Street Fighter 2 animated movie, as well as in Street Fighter Alpha, she has this cape that she wears in her pre-fight animation sometimes. It's very much a callback to Cammy's assassin roots, where she was brainwashed and just one of Bison's top assassins. She's not that anymore, but that aspect of her character is so important because it's her badass side. It's her most threatening side. And then she's got some cool little additions to it. If you look at the concept art, she's wearing a locket that has the Delta Red Team's picture in it, which I don't think you could even see if you like in the main game, but you see it in the concept art. And yeah, this is a really cool costume that is much more Cammy on the job. And it's exactly what Street Fighter 6 Cammy needed at this point. I have seen different reactions to this costume, both positive and negative. And I gotta say, I love this costume. This is very DJ, but maybe from an angle that we rarely see, in that it's clearly more disco. And you think of DJ, you think of music, but not necessarily disco. And it also feels like you could see this version of DJ driving around in like the early 80s. GTA sort of a thing. There's a lot of angles from it, and it actually, while it's still in the theming of DJ fully as a musical party guy, you can really appreciate the glitz and the glam. But then there are some cool accessories, his rings and the watch and stuff. There's more to be discovered as you continue to look at it. So yeah, I really like this costume through and through. Everyone's favorite new big baddie, JP. This is a big departure, haha, from his first two costumes in Street Fighter 6, because while those are portraying an upright or seemingly upright businessman, this is more of a I'm involved in the culture of Nashal, I believe is the fictional country that they're talking about here and referencing here. It's like flowy, it's long, it's good color contrast with the blue and the red, that's tried and true. The update to his cane is cool, and then he's got his hair down and his shirt, or his top I should say, open, so we can see that even though he's super old, true to the Street Fighter way, he's also super buff. And then like, I don't want to say this looks like Akuma, but it's got kind of smacks of Akuma, or like that kind of Street Fighter boss feel where it's like long flowing garbs of the master, but then he's also got that necklace which is kind of like Akuma's beads. So it's like hints back at some other memorable Street Fighter characters, but is also a good look for JP by himself. Number 3 is the big body, big boy Zangief. I love what they did with Zangief because everybody knows Zangief isn't probably the smartest. He's a simple man. But here they went the opposite direction and made him look more sophisticated. So he's got a business outfit on with the pinstripes and the vest and the ironed, definitely custom made shirt. He's got a gold watch, a pocket watch, or a monocle or something along those lines. Just nothing that you would expect from Zangief, and that is perfect. You see that and it just brings a smile to my face. Marissa, one of the absolute best in my opinion. She continues having Spartan references with that hair, and I really hope that with whatever costumes they come out with next for her, they continue that in some kind of capacity. That's fun. But it's a wedding dress, and so the contrast is immediately enticing because she's clearly this really buff fighter, but she's themed with love, like literal passion, as well as she enjoys creating trinkets and in the same arena, you know, designing clothes and things along those lines. So this hits the character correctly from a bunch of different angles. It looks beautiful, and I would love to see it in action as she's kicking butt in a wedding dress. Very, very Marissa. And number 1, if you hadn't figured it out already, is Juri. Why I like this particularly is 1, it's a lot of fun. She's wearing a onesie, it's got a goofy little spider symbol on the back. Her horns are replaced with just kind of goofy tufts of hair. Her whole personality in her costume is there, but if she has just this little corner of said personality carved out for letting loose, for putting her feet up, haha. That's this, and this was one of those costumes that we saw the concept art for like months ago, and immediately people started drawing this outfit in their Juri fan art. So this was already a hit before it even came out. Capcom knows what they're doing with this character. They probably put more attention on Juri outfits than anyone else because they know she's got fans for days. So this is number 1. Let me know in the comments below, guys, if you agree with these picks. It's totally cool. This is just subjective opinion if you don't, but I would love to hear your orderings below, or maybe your top 3, whatever you want to say. But thanks so much for checking out the video. I've been John Velociraptor Guerrero for EventHubs. Check out more videos on our channel, and we will see you in the next one.